Have you ever wondered if women truly show their authentic selves to the men they love? It's a powerful question, and the answer isn't as simple as yes or no. Today, we're diving deep into emotional transparency and the quiet, intimate things women often do only when their love is real. We all crave connection, to be seen, to be understood. But emotional intimacy? That's the game changer. It's what separates surface-level relationships from the deep, soul-binding ones. And for many women, that kind of vulnerability takes more than just love. It takes trust, safety, and emotional maturity. 1. Vulnerability is not easy. Let's be honest. Vulnerability isn't just hard, it's terrifying. When a woman chooses to open up emotionally, she's not just having a conversation. She's peeling back layers that took years to build. She's revealing the parts of herself she usually guards with silence. Her quiet insecurities, her silent battles, the pain she tucked away and tried to forget. It's not a performance. It's not for attention. It's a deeply human moment. A woman's emotional vulnerability is sacred ground, and stepping into it is a privilege. For many women, especially those who faced betrayal, abandonment, or emotional neglect, vulnerability feels like walking a tightrope with no safety net. It means giving someone else the power to hurt her, all while hoping they won't. And yet, when she truly loves, when she feels emotionally safe, seen, and valued, she'll still take that leap. Not because it's easy, but because she believes in something bigger than fear. She believes in connection. She believes in you. Vulnerability, in this context, is not weakness. It's strength in its rawest form. It's trust being handed to you, unwrapped and unguarded. So if a woman opens up to you, if she shares her stories, her doubts, her dreams, understand what she's really saying. I trust you with the parts of me no one else gets to see. That's not a small thing. That's everything. 2. Social conditioning makes it harder. From a young age, society often hands women a script. Be kind, be quiet, be accommodating. Put others first. Be the caretaker, the peacekeeper, the one who holds it all together. And many women grow up internalizing this as love. They're praised for their selflessness, admired for their strength, applauded for their ability to endure even when it comes at the cost of their own well-being. But here's the hidden cost. When you're always expected to give, asking starts to feel like a betrayal. Needing something? That feels selfish. Setting a boundary? That feels too much. Speaking your truth? That feels dangerous. So what happens? She suppresses, she shrinks, she adapts. She builds emotional walls not to push people away, but to survive in a world that taught her to equate silence with goodness. And those walls don't mean she's cold or indifferent. They're armor. Armor forged from years of biting her tongue, smiling through disappointment, and tending to everyone else while putting herself last. It's not that she won't open up. It's that she's unlearning decades of conditioning that told her her needs didn't matter. She's battling guilt every time she tries to choose herself. So when a woman hesitates to be vulnerable, when she pauses before saying what she really feels, know this. It's not about you. It's about everything she was taught to bury. But when she finally does speak, when she trusts you enough to unlearn silence in your presence, that's not just vulnerability. That's liberation in motion. 3. The fear of being too much or not enough. There's a quiet, lingering fear many women carry on that often goes unspoken but shapes how they show up in relationships. What if I'm too much? Too emotional? Too intense? Too sensitive? Too loud? Too honest? Or worse, what if I'm not enough? Not pretty enough? Not calm enough? Not easygoing enough? Not lovable enough? It's an emotional tightrope trying to strike the perfect balance between being authentic and being accepted. And when you've been criticized or rejected in the past for simply being yourself, that fear roots itself deep. It doesn't just fade with time. So she adapts. She withholds. Not because she doesn't care, not because she's playing games, but because she's scared. Scared that if she fully shows up raw, real, and unfiltered, it might be too much for you to handle, or not enough to keep you interested. This fear doesn't mean she lacks confidence. It means she's been hurt in spaces where she should have been safe. It means she's had to dim her light just to be tolerated, and now she's trying to figure out if it's finally okay to shine. So when she hesitates, when she holds back instead of pouring her heart out, remember, love isn't always withheld out of indifference. Sometimes, it's out of self-protection. But when a woman begins to trust that she's safe to be her full self with you, when she realizes she doesn't have to edit her emotions or mute her passion, that's when you'll see her come alive. Not just as a partner, but as her whole self. And that's the kind of love that doesn't just feel good. It heals. 4. Trust determines everything. Emotional vulnerability doesn't bloom in just any environment. It grows in the soil of trust, and without it, nothing meaningful can take root. For a woman, trust isn't just about honesty or loyalty. It's about emotional safety. It's about knowing that when she speaks her truth, it won't be used against her. That her tears won't be labeled drama. That her silence won't be mistaken for disinterest. That her complexities won't be met with confusion but curiosity. When a woman doesn't feel emotionally safe, she doesn't lash out, she retreats. Not always physically, but emotionally. Her guard comes up, her heart closes down, not as punishment but as protection. Because why would anyone keep handing over fragile pieces of their soul to someone who doesn't know how to hold them? But when she feels seen, truly seen, not just for her beauty or presence, but for her inner world, everything changes. When she feels heard, not just listened to, but understood, her words stop being careful, they become real. When she feels valued, not for what she gives or does, but for who she is, that's when the walls begin to fall. That's when you get the real her. The depth, the softness, the power, the fire. That's when her laughter is louder, her silence is softer, and her love is no longer cautious but complete. Because the truth is simple. A woman doesn't open her heart because you demand it. She opens it because she trusts it will be safe in your hands. The safer the space, the more of her soul she'll let you see. And when you've earned that kind of trust, you won't just be loved, you'll be let in. 5. Relationship dynamics matter. You can't expect vulnerability in a war zone. If a woman feels like she's always bracing for impact, choosing her words carefully, second-guessing her tone, anticipating defensiveness or dismissal, she won't open up. She'll survive, she'll adapt, but she won't share. Because vulnerability isn't born in chaos. It's born in calm. It doesn't grow where someone feels interrogated, invalidated, or unseen. So ask yourself, is your relationship a refuge or a battlefield? Is she met with understanding or opposition? Does she feel like a partner or like she's on trial? Because here's the truth most people miss. Openness is not about how much someone loves you. It's about how safe they feel to be themselves in your presence. If the dynamic is filled with criticism, defensiveness, or one-sided expectations, she'll start editing herself, not because she wants to, but because she has Toto protect her peace. But if the relationship is rooted in mutual respect, where she's not just heard, but listened to with curiosity, where disagreements don't turn into personal attacks, where emotions aren't weaponized but welcomed, then watch what happens. She'll stop hiding. She'll stop shrinking. She'll start revealing layers of herself that even she forgot were there. Not just the polished parts, but the vulnerable, tender, complicated ones too. The parts that say, "This is who I am, not who I perform to be." That level of openness doesn't happen by accident. It's created moment by moment through trust, emotional maturity, and how you handle her heart. Because when the relationship feels safe, it becomes something rare, not just love, but freedom within love. 6. Love encourages openness, but it's not a guarantee. Love can be a beautiful invitation to open up, but it's not a magic key that unlocks someone's heart on demand. You can love someone deeply and still struggle to let them all the way in. Why? Because emotional intimacy isn't automatic. It's not something that just happens when the feelings are strong enough. It's something that must be built, nurtured, and earned day by day, moment by moment. Many women carry emotional scars that aren't visible. Trust broken, words used as weapons, vulnerability punished. So even when she loves you, even when she wants to be open, there may still be a voice inside her whispering, "It's not safe." And that doesn't mean she's cold, closed off, or holding back out of spite. It means she's human. She's navigating her past while trying to build something better in the present. Love can create the conditions for openness, but emotional intimacy? That takes more than chemistry. It takes consistent effort, a willingness to slow down, to listen without fixing, to hold space when it would be easier to retreat. And it takes time. The truth is, emotional openness is not a one-time event. It's a practice like trust, like patience, like forgiveness. It's not just about how much she feels, but how much safety, understanding, and mutual vulnerability exist in the space between you. So don't assume that love alone is enough to make her feel safe. Show her that her emotions won't be used against her. Show her that her silence isn't a threat, it's a signal to lean in, not walk away. And show her that love isn't just a word you say, it's a space you hold. Because when love meets emotional safety, that's when walls fall. That's when wounds start to heal. That's when she lets herself be fully seen, not because she has to, but because she finally can. Studies show that couples who prioritize emotional intimacy report significantly higher levels of relationship satisfaction. Why? Because emotional openness builds authenticity, and authenticity builds unshakable connection. When a woman feels safe to be her whole self, love transforms into something deeper, something unbreakable. So what can we learn from this? Emotional openness isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. If you want a deep, lasting connection, understand what it takes for a woman to truly reveal herself. Create safety, cultivate trust, be curious, not critical. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman show you her real self, cherish it. Because that kind of love is rare, raw, and real. Have you ever experienced emotional openness in your relationships, either as the giver or receiver? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And don't forget to check out my other videos on emotional intelligence, relationships, and Stoic wisdom to go even deeper.